Hi guys, CityScapes here and welcome back to Verville episode 43. Did you miss me already? So, we are finally back. And it feels really good, I have to say. So, did you check out the new intro? I made those drone shots a while back when I was visiting the Riggy Mountain. But I also revamped some other clips. I mean, a new intro was long overdue, since we developed the city quite a bit and changed a lot of stuff. But the main reason was that my computer crashed a couple of weeks ago. And I mean, really crashed, so I had a blue screen, I had to completely reinstall Windows and the game, of course. But luckily I have saved all the footage on a different hard disk, which I also back up all the time. But I didn't save or backed up the settings for DaVinci Resolve, the video editing software I use. So I had to completely redo all the timeline settings, like the lower third titles and of course the whole intro. Yeah, so this was one reason I couldn't really do any videos recently. The other reason was that I was just really busy with my bachelor thesis and finishing my studies. It all worked out somehow, and now I'm just waiting for the grades, so wish me luck. Because I'm kind of a procrastinator, I was really stressed out in the end, and I had no energy left in the evening to do these voiceovers. But I still played the game from time to time a little bit, so I have prepared a lot of footage actually. And it's just sitting here on my hard disk and waiting for the voiceovers. Those are actually quite exhausting for me to do because, as you can tell from my accent, I'm not native in the English language. I call Switzerland my home country, I've been born and raised here, and I was studying economics for the last 4 years. I live in the Zurich region, and this is also the reason why I decided to do a Zurich-inspired city. So this as a quick recap for all the new viewers this channel got recently. Alright, so those few cinematic shots you saw in the opening were a recap of what we did in the last episode, episode 42. And we finished the new main station from Verville. This train station overhaul is quite an extensive project and it's still ongoing, at least with the next few episodes that will come out here on this channel. The station is a real-life recreation of the Zurich main station. I've made everything out of procedural objects and yeah, you can watch that in episode 41 and 42. But let's talk now about what we are doing today. As I said in one of the last few episodes, the main station overhaul also required to redo all the tracks in front of the station. And oh man, I just couldn't leave it with just the tracks. I also had to redo the nearby areas to really fit them together with the newly laid down tracks. And just make this whole city as cohesive as possible. So right now you have a good view of the area I completely demolished. Verum Positor was teasing me about that area anyway, so here you go. Big shout out to him anyways, you really should check his channel out here on YouTube as well. Hope you're doing well, man. So I demolished this rail yard here nearby this area, as well as this not very good looking industrial stuff around here, and I'm gonna replace it with something that resembles Zurich a little bit better. As you can see here, I am fiddling around with these tracks a bit. A handy method I use all the time is just copy some segments with Move It and placing it right next to each other to have perfectly parallel tracks for the rail yard. And then moving on to connecting them with the already existing tracks. As you can see here, I used my cog rails by accident. Yeah, I should really change the thumbnail of those. I'm gonna redo them anyways when we finally move on to the Riggy build. which is the last missing puzzle for the Art Goldau region we built in episode 36 to 39. For the rail yard here I used the Revo Railway Maintenance Center, or however it's called. They look fantastic, there are a lot of variety with the buildings here, and yeah, just smash them together so they fit the place here nicely. I also combined them with an older version of those service centers. In real life it's also like that. We have the older parts in the back and some newer attachments. And speaking about Revo, have you guys seen his announcement on Twitter? He made a new railway pack, Railway 2, the successor to the fantastic railway pack I'm using here everywhere in Verville. And I can tell you guys, Railway 2 is gonna look even more amazing. It's so freaking realistic, and when we have that, you know what's coming now. Of course I have to replace the tracks once again in Verville. But with the Run Network Replacer mod, it's not that big of a deal. I already tested the new networks a bit, and especially with the POV rides, they look so freaking good. As soon as I have them, I will try my very best to finish up some train lines, so we can enjoy Railway 2 in its full glory. So stay tuned for that. Shouldn't be too long, and with too long, of course I'm talking about City Skyline terms, so a couple of months should do it. But I can also already spoil that to complete the surroundings of the tracks, so we can do that as soon as possible, as I said. So here I'm trying to make a functional cargo station. I thought that this would look pretty cool using these bare railway tracks in here. But then I realized that I'm using invisible cargo trains, so I can have those really long dummy cargo trains from the creator Ron Futa. So I had to place some props instead afterwards, but it still looks great. And now we are developing some contemporary apartments along the tracks here. As you can see, I make them in the colors green, yellow and red, I think they are. Yes, seems like it. And yeah, these are also in the real life place in Zurich. Here you can have a look. Well, okay, looking at the Google Earth shots right now, I don't really see the color red here, but you get the idea. The place is not really too special. In real life, it's prime real estate, or however you want to call it. It's very central, right next to the train station, or the tracks at least. But for train fanatics like me, those would really be the perfect apartments. And the Swiss trains aren't too loud anyway, so I think living there wouldn't be too bad. And behind those apartments, I just wanted to have some proper city blocks, not like the mess I had before. I think in general I should have done a bit more of these generic city blocks rather than trying to have some special shapes everywhere. It's not like city blocks are only for American cities. Of course we have this as well here in Europe. And that's exactly what you see me doing here. Yeah, well, okay, this city block also is kind of random, but that's because this area is a remnant of a past build anyway, so I have to work with what I got here. Maybe you noticed it already. I have the UK roads now almost everywhere on this whole map. I'm just struggling with finding a better highway network pack. So I think I will stick with the Caesar roads. You guys seem to really like those anyway. And since I had a closer look at them with the POV ride, I have to say they are so good modeled that I think I will just follow through with Caesar for this whole series here. So stay tuned for some more Caesar interchange building episodes. Now we've extended those city blocks right up to the area we built already 1 year ago. It's episode 22, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. And as for the backyard detailing, I couldn't really be bothered with it, so I just placed some random trees and some vanilla playgrounds. I removed the vanilla trees and other disgusting things from with the Bob mod. It's also a really cool thing. You should definitely check it out. And here I was just in the mood to detail this, how do you want to call it, neighborhood street a bit more. So I tried to put these planters between the parked cars, but then I realized that the cars, they don't really park always in some predefined spots. They jump around all the time, and yeah, as you can see right now on the left side, sometimes the cars, they spawn in the middle of the planters, which is not really what I wanted. So later on I banned parking completely from this road and I placed down some car props. I think that turned out really cool. Yeah, you can see it right now here. Some may think that the trees are a bit too big for these roads here, but I can assure you it's actually pretty crazy that in Zurich or Switzerland in general, they have so big trees in the middle of the city. They completely cover the road when you look at them from above with Google Earth or whatnot. And I think that could also look pretty cool when we have some, I don't know, POV rides with the bus maybe. But yeah, anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really jumping around here in this time lapse. So we are back at the rail yard cargo maintenance area stuff here, however you want to call it. I was covering the roofs of those buildings with a ploppable gravel surface, and placed some grass decals on top of it. That's a trick Verum Positor again taught me. It's just a neat way to make the roofs of some assets looking a bit more interesting and also a bit more realistic. And then moving on to the detailing, as it seems. So placing down the parking lot over there, adding some fences here and there, rebuilding this construction site, plopping down a lot of dirt decals and containers and whatnot. The mandatory trees, of course. And you're maybe wondering why I'm not using the Surface Painter mod anymore, or barely. It's because I had a lot of issues with the texture disappearing, especially when you switch themes with the Theme Mixer 2 mod. I didn't realize that in the past, so I had to redo a lot of surfaces with just these surface brushes, because somehow they work just fine. They don't have that issue. Now that I'm talking about it, I think I said that already in a past episode. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's kind of impossible to not repeat certain stuff with these City Skylines voiceovers. Oh, yeah, that's also pretty cool. The new, I know I'm a bit late to the party, the buildings spawn point mod, or however it's called. I can't really remember the exact name. Yeah, you can set where cars and people will spawn from with this mod. Actually, I think only vehicles, not the people. But anyways, I used it in here to have the cargo trucks spawn at a better position than the original position. And yeah, other than that, we are just doing some generic detailing stuff here. Of course, I needed some doors in those maintenance buildings over there. And yeah, other than that, just covering some random stuff that doesn't really work all that well, like these loading bays here. Covered them up with the equipment buildings, I think they are called like that. And yeah, I mean, what are you gonna say about general detailing, right? It's just that everything looks really nice, and it's also a very meditative and satisfying task somehow. It always brings the new build to life, I think. So I was just thinking here, yeah, what's gonna fit an industrial area? Place down some trucks and dirt decals, tire decals, and road wear stuff, I think it's the name. But yeah, nothing too special. From time to time I did a little bit more, like here I placed an awning over the entrance of this building here, because otherwise it would look a bit too bland. And this is, I don't know, this is the most satisfying thing ever, to place these locomotives on the empty tracks in front of these cool looking doors here. It really makes the purpose of this area clear. And the coaches as well, the cargo coaches, they really give a sense to all these tracks in here, because otherwise you're gonna think, oh my gosh, it's just way too many tracks. But yeah, in real life a lot of parked vehicles are there. And moving back to the neighborhood street here, of course you cannot forget about all the trees and plants everywhere. They are a great way of some quick detailing. They occupy a lot of the view from above and whatnot, so yeah, this is kind of a cheap trick to do some quick detailing. And thank God we have the new intersection marking tool here. You can also customize the intersection in a very cool way. But guys, this has already been it for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode from Verville. As I said, I'm so glad I have finally time for City Skylines and YouTube again, and I hope my excitement translates well to this video here. With my current state of mind, it's not too hard to talk throughout the whole video. I'm really motivated. And yeah, of course the mandatory advertisement for my other social media accounts. Follow me on Twitter for random rants and some screenshots. Discord is definitely the place to be right now. I'm most active over there. You get some sneak peeks here and there. It's just a great place for some general chats. Instagram is for high resolution screenshots only. And if you enjoy my work as much as I do, please consider supporting me over on Patreon from just $1 a month on. This really allows me to also pay some other creators to make some custom assets I can use in the city here. And this really helps the realism of this whole project and makes it even more enjoyable. Currently I have 5 patrons. These are James, Jason, Han, Connor and Renee. Thank you guys very much, you are awesome. But of course I also thank each and every one of you guys who are watching this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, it's greatly appreciated. And I'm really looking forward to see you in the next one.